in respect, in community, and in legacy.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get drum! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react. Understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice. The show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Aliko Dangote is a Nigerian businessman and industrialist. He is best known as the founder, chairman, and CEO of the Dangote Group, the largest industrial conglomerate in West Africa. The Bloomberg Billionaires Index estimated his net worth at $16.1 billion as at November 2023, making him the richest person in Africa, the world's richest black person, and the world's 107th richest person overall. Dangote was born into a wealthy Hausa Muslim family on April 10, 1957 in Kano, which was then part of British Nigeria. Through his mother, he is the great-grandson of Alhassan Dantata, the richest person in West Africa at the time of his death in 1955. Dangote received a bachelor's degree in business studies and administration from Al-Azhar University in Cairo. The Dangote Group was established as a small trading firm in 1977, the same year Dangote relocated to Lagos to expand the company. Today, the Dangote Group is one of the largest conglomerates in Africa, with international operations in Benin, Ghana, Zambia, and Togo. The Dangote Group has moved from being a trading company to being the largest industrial group in Nigeria, encompassing divisions like Dangote Sugar Refinery, Dangote Cement, and Dangote Flour. Dangote Group dominates the sugar market in Nigeria, and its refinery business is the main supplier to the country's soft drink companies, breweries, and confectioners, supplying about 70% of the market. The company employs more than 11,000 people in West Africa. In July 2012, Dangote approached the Nigerian Ports Authority to lease an abandoned piece of land at the Apapa port, which was approved. It is now the largest refinery in Africa and the third largest in the world, producing 800,000 metric tons of sugar annually. The Dangote Group owns salt factories and flour mills and is a major importer of rice, fish, pasta, cement, and fertilizer. The company exports cotton, cashew nut, cocoa, sesame seeds, and ginger to several countries. Additionally, it has major investments in real estate, banking, transport, textiles, oil, and gas. On May 22, 2023, Dangote commissioned the Dangote Refinery, Lekki, Nigeria. The plant plans to export surplus petrol, turning Africa's biggest oil producer into an export hub for petroleum products. It also plans to export diesel, according to Dangote, who funded the refinery's construction. The refinery is situated on a 2,500-hectare site at the Lekki Free Trade Zone, Lekki, Lagos. It is supplied with crude oil by the largest sub-sea pipeline infrastructure in the world at 1,100 kilometers long. Dangote founded the African continent's largest cement producer. Aliko Dangote is regarded as an astute businessman with diverse interests who has contributed to the economy of Nigeria and West Africa immensely.
We are here with the leadership of VOP Television Lagos. We do appreciate this opportunity to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to our viewers all over the world and admirers. Cheers.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging 1-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Apelon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not going to the talk, please discuss.
My name is Esther. They call me the Oga of them are the general overseer of them all. Every man, every woman has got a voice where integrity is the volume. So this is Voice of the People's TV. Voice of the People's TV. So this is the people's voice. And the people's voice is the voice of God. That's the voice populi in Latin. The people's voice is the voice of God. So keep watching Voice of the People. In fact, my name is Voice of the People. Keep watching MC Ado Pikin.
Hi guys, my name is Kagan. I am Nigeria's biggest tech content creator, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Voice of the People TV. Keep watching, enjoy, and you're welcome.
My name is MC Alamano. They say call me Enjoyment Landlord. It's VOP TV. Keep watching VOP TV. Don't touch it down. Even if you want to touch it down, increase the volume. If you don't increase the volume, I told me. My name is Collins Agawabe, popularly known as No My Day, but last, more than No My Day, or more. Not be also the cook right at the fry plantain. We keep on watching VOP TV. The voice of the people, the voice of Edo. If you don't want to get the authentic news for Edo, the way it be, that's why they show and all the cut anything come on. At VOP TV.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
The People Television, truly a voice for the people.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos, facts not fluff, Truth, not speed. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Whether you've been with us through the ups and downs or just joined us for this festive season,
take a moment to cherish the moments you've made and look forward to making new ones on the horizon.
May this new year bring you everything good, everything prosperous.
As we bid farewell to the old year and welcome you to the new year,
may your heart be filled with joy and your home with laughter. And of course, may your spirit be filled with hope.
We'll be bringing you live updates, exciting performance, and inspiring stories throughout the day.
Stay tuned for our special New Year's coverage and let's make this year unforgettable.
Thank you for making us a part of your celebration.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. But for us, the technical crew,
it's weird for technical people to be in front of camera, but I just want to say,
now this one they make me come outside every day. Anytime when they call me, I will rush come outside. We don't get holiday.
Our holiday is part of our daily routine and we've embraced it.
I must say the work is challenging, engaging, and interesting.
We are all families here at VOP and we the technical crew.
For us, it's another day on the job.
But it's tough being away from family.
But the lighter part of it is that after the work,
we will stay connected with video calls and messages. Merry Christmas.
On behalf of the technical crew, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, and here we are, job continues.
Well, compliments of the season and welcome to News Hour on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Oguche. Before we begin, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Here are the headlines. President Tinubu departs Nigeria ahead of UAE Sustainability Summit. Serap sues governors over missing 14 trillion naira savings. Repeat offender arrested in massive cocaine seizure. 3 confirmed dead as search continues at raised Lagos high-rise. Nigeria Labour Congress threatens revolt over new fiscal reforms. Gunmen kill 2 and abduct families in fresh Gombe raid. Well, on the foreign scene, U.S. congressman says Nigeria airstrikes protect local Christians. And in business news, CBN raises 15 trillion naira to plug 2025 budget hole. In sports news, NFF denies reports of FIFA dismissing World Cup petition against DR Congo. And in entertainment, it is short break.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people. From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Welcome back, everyone. And now President Bola Tinubu has officially left Lagos today to begin the next leg of his end-of-year break in Europe. Presidential spokesperson Bayo Nanuga confirmed the move this Sunday, noting that the president is balancing rest with upcoming diplomatic duties. After his stay in Europe, the president is scheduled to fly directly to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. He's heading there at the special invitation of President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan for a major global summit. The president will be participating in the 2026 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, a high-level event focusing on innovation and finance. This year's theme, All Systems Go, aims to bring world leaders together to tackle the next era of green development. The president is expected to remain abroad through the first week of January to complete the summit's full program. A formal return to Nigeria is planned shortly after the international event wraps up in the Emirates. Meanwhile, the African Democratic Congress ADC has criticized President Bola Tinubu's decision to travel to Europe amid rising insecurity in the country. Spokesperson Bolaji Abdullahi described the move as insensitive, noting it comes at a time when Nigerians need reassurance from their leader. Abdullahi expressed his position in a statement titled "PBAT's Lack of Care Scary" on his official X account that the president's trip follows deadly incidents, including a bomb blast in Zamfara and a U.S. military strike on Nigerian soil. He warned that the president's silence on these matters raises concerns about leadership responsiveness. According to reports, President Tinubu left Lagos for Europe ahead of the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Summit. The week-long event in January will bring together global leaders to discuss climate action, economic reforms, and sustainable development. The ADC spokesperson urged the government to prioritize the nation's security and address public anxieties before engaging in international trips. Meanwhile, the presidency says the visit is part of official duties and not a personal holiday. And speaking of insecurity, the president of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Bishop Francis Waleoke, has urged President Bola Tinubu to intensify the fight against insecurity. He warned that terrorists and bandits must be decisively crushed, with no sacred cows spared. Speaking in Ibadan, the bishop said insecurity is now Nigeria's most dangerous threat, surpassing corruption. He praised cooperation with the United States in tackling terrorists and other criminals. The cleric dismissed negotiations or rehabilitation for bandits, saying governance is about justice and security, not repentance. He called for national unity, insisting no Nigerian should die needlessly, whether Christian or Muslim. While acknowledging government palliatives, the cleric stressed that good governance and fair anti-corruption efforts are vital. He ended on a hopeful note, saying Nigeria will survive and prosper with decisive leadership and collective resolve. Meanwhile, a non-gunman stormed a Pindiga town in Akko local government area, Gombe State, in the early hours of Sunday. 2 people were shot dead, while a housewife, her children, and another woman were abducted. The victims were identified as Yusuf Mohammed, 31, and Faiza Mohammed, 28. The abducted, including Zainab Mohammed Yusuf, 16, and members of another family whose children were aged 11 and 14. Police recovered 670 AK-47 shells and a live round at the scene. Tactical and intelligence-led operations alongside local vigilante groups have been intensified to rescue the abducted victims and apprehend the attackers. Gombe Governor Inuwa Yahaya condemned the attack, describing it as barbaric and utterly unacceptable. He assured that all necessary resources will be deployed to bring the perpetrators to justice and warned that the state will not be a haven for criminals. Well, over now to Zamfara State, where Governor Dauda Lawal has appointed retired Assistant Inspector General of Police Mohammed Shehu Dalijan as the new commandant of the state-owned Community Protection Guards. The move aims to strengthen security and improve the operational efficiency of the agency. Dalijan brings over 30 years of experience in policing, security management, and counter-terrorism operations. He previously served as Zamfara's Commissioner of Police and Assistant Inspector General in charge of counter-terrorism at the force headquarters in Abuja. The governor has also directed a comprehensive overhaul of the Community Protection Guards to address operational and administrative challenges. Lawal expressed confidence that Dalijan's expertise will reposition the agency to deliver effectively on its mandate. The governor commended the immediate past commandant for his service and wished him a speedy recovery. He reassured the public that the administration remains committed to enhancing security and protecting lives across Zamfara State. Well, turning to other stories now, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, known as SERAP, has officially sued all 36 state governors and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. The group is demanding a full breakdown of how 14 trillion naira in fuel subsidy savings has been spent since mid-2023. SERAP argues that despite these massive allocations from the Federation account, there hasn't been any real improvement in healthcare or education for the poor. They filed the suit at the Federal High Court in Lagos, claiming the money hasn't reached the vulnerable Nigerians it was meant to help. The lawsuit specifically asks the court to compel these officials to publish the exact locations and completion reports for any project funded by the savings. SERAP maintains that the current secrecy surrounding these funds is a violation of the constitutional right of citizens to know how their money is used. While no date has been set for the hearing yet, The move puts significant pressure on state governments to justify their recent spending. We will be watching closely to see how the governors and the FCT ministry responds to these allegations of mismanagement in the coming weeks. Well, moving on, with only 4 days left until the new tax laws take effect, the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, is threatening a national revolt. Union leaders claim they were completely sidelined during the drafting process and are warning that the implementation will crush already struggling workers. While the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria supports the move, small business owners are pleading for a total suspension of the start date. These smaller operators argue that there hasn't been enough public education to help them understand how this new system even works. The chairman of the Tax Reform Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, is standing firm, saying that any delay will only keep the heavy tax burden on the poor. He argues that these laws are actually designed to exempt low-income earners and small businesses from several major taxes. Adding to the tension are claims from some lawmakers that the laws signed by the president aren't the same ones they originally voted on. This discrepancy has fueled calls for a pause while the National Assembly investigates if the documents were altered before being gazetted. And now to a story we've been following here in Lagos. Rescuers working at the site of the Great Nigeria Insurance House on Lagos Island have now confirmed that 3 people lost their lives in that massive Christmas Eve fire. According to the spokesperson of Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, emergency teams recovered the bodies from the 22-story building as they continue to comb through the charred remains and collapsed structures. It hasn't all been bad news, though, as 8 people were successfully pulled from the building with various injuries, including 1 brave firefighter. Several others were treated for minor injuries right there at the scene and have already been cleared to go home. While the high-rise itself took a beating, fire crews managed to stop the flames from jumping to the nearby Oluwole Plaza and a local mosque. It was a huge relief for business owners in the area who were terrified that the entire block was going to go up in smoke. Multiple agencies like LASEMA and the Red Cross are still on site today because they aren't quite sure if anyone else is still trapped inside. We are expecting more updates as the structure is stabilized and the search teams move into the deeper parts of the building. Well, turning to other stories, the race for the Federal High Court bench just got a lot smaller after 34 lawyers were dropped following a strict integrity test. Out of 62 original applicants, more than half failed to make the cut due to serious petitions filed by the public. Some of the claims coming out of these investigations are pretty shocking, including one female nominee who reportedly took a ₦1 million bribe. The National Judicial Council says these new guidelines are essential to keeping questionable characters out of courtrooms. Only 28 candidates managed to come out with a clean slate and will move on to face an interview panel next month. Chief Justice Kudirat Kekereekun is making it clear that transparency is the top priority for this new administration. The council is officially scheduled to meet on the 13th of January to review the remaining names and finalize the appointments. We are told that only those who prove their merit and reputation will eventually be sworn in as federal judges. And now NDLEA officers have intercepted 75 parcels of cocaine disguised as liquid starch at the Lagos Airport export shed. The drugs were headed for the United Kingdom before sharp-eyed agents stepped in to stop the shipment. The prime suspect is a 37-year-old ex-convict who was actually caught while out on a date at a local relaxation center. This isn't his first run-in with the law, as he was previously convicted just last year for trafficking methamphetamine. Along with the main suspect, 3 cargo agents were taken into custody for their roles in the attempted smuggling operation. The agency is looking closely at how these individuals bypassed initial security checks to get the parcels into the export area. It's been a busy week for the NDLEA with several other major arrests in Gombe and Edo states involving thousands of illegal pills, from burning down cannabis warehouses to intercepting transit vehicles. The agency is definitely ramping up its holiday enforcement. And joining us virtually to analyze these stories is the public affairs analyst, Opeyemi Benjamin Ogunlami. Opeyemi, thank you so much for joining us today.
And thanks for having me.
All right. So President Bola Tinubu has officially left Lagos today to begin the next leg of his end-of-year break in Europe. Presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga confirmed the move this Sunday, noting that the president is balancing rest with upcoming diplomatic duties. But the ADC is saying that, talking about the mega opposition party, is saying that the president shouldn't have traveled, especially now that the country is battling insecurity and all. I don't know, do you agree with the ADC, or is it okay for the president to actually take some rest?
If the president had traveled, it's from my own perspective, and then from the angle of my body, the take it back movement, I would say clearly that it's an insensitive move to travel at this time. At a time when the country is in dire need of the presence of a leader. And most times we observe that whenever there's something cogent happening in the country that requires the presence and the availability of the leader, we always see the leader travel out. It happened during Ibrahim Babangida era. The same thing happens during Buhari. Now it's replicating itself at this moment. It's just unfortunate the quality of leaders Nigerians have been voting for, or that found their ways into the helms of affairs of our people. This traveling at this moment, even for the intervention of the US in Nigeria, and the president is taking a break after coming to Lagos for your show off, or what should we call that? All that happened in Lagos over the weekend, traffic all around, hoodlums taking up your festival and all. So the president is only going, is only going to take a break from the headache he caused Lagos State. And it's so insensitive as far as I am concerned.
All right, Opeyemi, the president's spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga, says that the president is going to be mixing rest with upcoming diplomatic duties. Now, he said the president of Abu Dhabi has invited him for some event. So the president will be going to the 2026 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, amongst other presidents. You remember how, for the very first time, Africa had hosted the G Summit, right? The G20 Summit. The very first time Africa hosted it, and it was South Africa. You remember President Tinubu shelved attendance. He didn't go because of the state of the nation. There was massive insecurity. So would you say it's important, or it's right to cut him some slack to say when the rubber meets the road, he actually does what needs to be done? I'm just picking your brains here.
Anyway, there is no, and there shouldn't be any visit to any president of the world when your home is on fire. You can't have your home on fire and you leave your home to be taken care of by whoever you think is in place without your own supervision and presence, availability in the country. What more could be sustainable? If your own country, you could not have a sustainable security operatives in place, and you want to go out to do what? What is sustainable when your home, the foundation of your home is faulty? What Nigeria needs is just to stand together and fight the issue of insecurity at this time. And the world knows that. Whoever president had invited you, well, at the end of the day, I'm telling you, Nigerians may not even get a glimpse of what the president had gone out of the country to do. And then we will know by Friday next week, or possibly any day in the week, he will return after whatever thing had taken place in the country. So as far as I am concerned, this visit should not be so paramount to our security in the country.
All right. Can we move on to something else now? It's a story we've been following, actually, and it's been on the front burner all week. So the Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, known as SERAP, I beg your pardon, has officially sued all 36 state governors and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. The group is demanding a full breakdown of how 14 trillion naira in fuel subsidy savings has been spent since mid-2023. Would you say SERAP is right on the money and they are doing just what's right? And on the other hand, do you see anything coming out of this case, really, Opeyemi?
SERAP is not just suing. If I could count, I can't even count, to be honest, the number of lawsuits that SERAP had filed against people in government, the present government and the previous governments. These people will be sued, but there won't be any accountability. They will respond to nothing. Over the years, it has been like this. SERAP is just doing and standing for Nigerians, asking or demanding accountability of governance. But it's unfortunate that no matter how you take our people to court, no matter how you drag them, yet they won't give any report of how they expend the public wealth, how they spend our own money that we should ask. It's not only the FCT minister and the rest of them. It boils down to all local governments, and it's until Nigeria wakes up and not leave this sole responsibility to SERAP and few organizations until all Nigerians start demanding and they start becoming very active in the matters of their own life. Then we can say, yes, something could be done. But on what SERAP had done well. But these guys in government are there in Nigeria to spend their 4 years or their 8 years to amass wealth for themselves and then care less, in fact, less, not even paying attention to the plight of the public masses. No.
All right, can we take a very close look at the matter here? So SERAP is arguing that despite these massive allocations, especially the ones gotten from the removal of fuel subsidy since 2023, and the massive allocation governors are getting from the Federation account, there hasn't been any real improvement in healthcare or education for the poor. I mean, take a look at this. So is it true then that this administration is elitist and is all about catering to those in government and not to the poor, as SERAP is claiming?
Which is evidential, it is so glaring to say that this government is not about the poor, about the poor people. And it's so unfortunate for the Nigerian masses to place themselves, leave their bag to be ridden on by this political class. These guys are in government making money for themselves. And Nigerian government basically now is an entity for personal gain, not to serve the public. So if they are making anything, you're asking, you're demanding, nothing will still be done because they feel they are in power. Meanwhile, they ought to be the servants of the people. But unfortunately, once they get to power, they impoverish the people, give them grains. As you impoverish them and give them grains, they still see you as their almighty and their saving grace, which is so unfortunate, the situation we found ourselves.
So are you saying the removal of fuel subsidy is not justifiable? Is that what you're saying?
It's not justified, nothing. And then let's not forget, you remember that when the presidency was talking about fuel subsidy, it was saying we would remove subsidy, improve education, improve healthcare. You know this English, Nigerians fall for it so cheaply. And then how do we go about this? We don't ask questions. After the removal of fuel subsidy, university education went on high, skyrocketed. After the removal of fuel subsidy, we could still not access quality health care in Nigeria, even at the primary health care centers at different local governments. We could still not have access to it. People are still dying of minor diseases that shouldn't have killed us. These guys remove fuel subsidies and then they spend the money for themselves and nothing more.
Can we now quickly switch some gears now? So it's just 4 days left until the new tax laws take effect. But the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, is threatening a nationwide revolt. The union leaders are claiming that they were completely sidelined during the drafting process and are warning that the implementation will crush already struggling workers. So the NLC is talking for the masses that this thing is not for the poor. But Taiwo Oyedele, the man at the helms when it comes to tax reforms, is saying, look, this is going to benefit the poor more than the elite. But then again, there is something else that's on the front burner when it comes to these tax laws. You remember last week how an honorable member from Sokoto State, Honorable Dasuki, had pointed out that these laws are fake, that this isn't what the National Assembly passed into law, and it wasn't what the president, was supposed to have signed. Join all of this together. Does this thing make your head spin like the NSC is saying right now?
Well, first and foremost, I would just like to say, at this point, I hope the NLC is truly and firmly, because over the years, we have thought of not relying on whatever stance NLC has, because NLC had betrayed the Nigerian masses when they call for an action and they boycott the masses. As the Nigerian people have seen the NLC as the largest civil society organization, they've betrayed us. Now, coming down to the tax law, you see, before a government can tax its people, what has the government done? What is the responsibility of the government? Any citizen or a country that's paying tax should reflect it should reflect in the lives of the citizen. Citizens should not be impoverished, and then the government or politicians amass the wealth of the people for themselves. It's like you're contributing to your nation, and then the nation should give back to you. Taxes is not something big, but Nigerian government and politicians over the years had made it a rocket science, making it look like it's a big thing. If you contribute somewhere, you benefit. What is the benefit coming out for Nigerians and as a result of this tax law? Education is on the high side. Even the poor cannot afford the Nigerian education again. Medical, primary health care is nothing. Roads are bad. Security, nothing. So where is the money derived or derived from the collection of taxes? Where are they going? We have to start reasoning that if I give into the purse of the government, then what am I getting in return? Citizens shouldn't, and I know this tax law can create a lot of havoc, because some part of Nigeria will not pay it, and there's nothing you will do to it because they do not believe in it. Except governments first and foremost become so responsible to the people and accountable. That's when citizens will deem it fit to start paying taxes, even at will. We can see what we are benefiting. You don't need to force us to pay tax. And what we see is, at this moment, 2027 is coming up. These politicians will need to amass wealth for themselves, use our money to feed us at election the way they always do, and then come back to the office at another time to say they have emerged for the second term. So this time, the taxes is just a mere shamble system to extort from the public, legally extort from the public. That's it.
All right, let's also take a look at the other end of this story before we let it go, Opeyemi. So the chairman of the Tax Reform Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, is saying that this new law is going to take effect from January the 26th. That's, like we said, about 4 days from now. But the National Assembly on Friday had come out to say that, look, this gazetted law is going to be reviewed by the National Assembly and re-gazetted. What do you think is the right thing to do? Isn't it to suspend, the commencement of this tax law? Or let me not put words in your mouth. What is the right thing to do?
Before it could be passed by the executive, the legislative arm of government should have gone through everything. But it's so unfortunate that whatever the executive wants, the legislature had become a rubber stamp legislature. You just agree to it. Now that the legislative arm of government is coming up saying they will review, it's not the time. They are talking about it because the large populace of Nigeria is talking against the tax policy. If we hadn't said anything, they would never utter a word because they are all in the same shoe. Whatever President Tinubu wants, the Senate will comply because they are all benefiting from it and they don't care what citizen will go through. So if they are coming up on the first, the noise became so loud. We've been shouting it since about, if I could remember, July, August. We even had a protest in Lagos at Ikeja against this tax law to be repealed. But nobody was saying anything then. Now it remains few days to getting into 2026, and by first tax law will be initiated fully. No. The House is late to respond to this if truly they are genuine and they are for the people. So for me, the tax law should be suspended. We do not even want it. Before you do a thing, you seek public opinion, you go through experts before you can just let something like this come up.
All right.
So it should be suspended.
That's a safe place to land on that particular one. Okay, I don't know if you got the gist of what happened last week, where rescuers kept working at the site of the Great Nigeria Insurance House on Lagos Island, and people were keeping their fingers crossed, hoping that there was no fatality. Unfortunately, Lagos State has confirmed that 3 people lost their lives in that massive Christmas Eve fire. It is a very, very sad one. What do you make of this, Okwayemi, really?
Nigeria should hop up its game. The citizens are living and waking up as they deem fate. There is no organization. Nigeria and Nigerians are living the way they see, living on chances and luck. What happened on that day, and they're telling us few persons, 3 or thereabouts, lost their lives. We cannot also rely on that information because it shouldn't have happened in a country that has its own security and safety measure in place. So it's so pathetic when we talk Nigeria. It gives a headache, and I'm telling you sincerely, I'm having a headache now. Seriously.
No, we wouldn't want for you to develop headache over Nigeria's wahala. But let's one more before we let you go, so you can rest your head. So the race for the Federal High Court bench just got a lot smaller after 34 lawyers were dropped following a strict integrity test. Out of 62 original applicants, more than half failed to make the cut due to serious petitions filed by the public. Now, it looks like the National Judicial Council is talking tough, and they said they want the judiciary to be pure and to be really independent. What do you make of this? Are you going to pass a vote of confidence on the judiciary as we speak right now?
Let them start. Let's see. Nigeria would always promise you, we will, we shall. But let us see them in action first. It's not about the process, it's about the outcome. And then we'll now see how they make Nigeria. But as far as I am concerned, so long as we have President Tinubu in office, the judiciary cannot be truly independent. And I mean it.
Wow, that's ominous. I actually do not know what to say in addition to that. But thank you so much, Okwayemi, for answering whenever we call on you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And compliments of the season to you.
I wish you the very best too. Good night to you.
Thank you.
Bye.
We have been speaking with Okwayemi Ogunlami. He is a human rights activist and a public affairs commentator. You're still watching News Hour on Voice of the People TV. When we return, Government House, homicide teenager arrested for allegedly killing colleague. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. And our police in Gombe have arrested a 19-year-old casual worker following a gruesome discovery right inside the state government house. A borehole operator, Malam Umar, was found motionless on the premises with his own trousers tied around his neck in what appears to be a violent struggle. Detectives say they were able to track down the suspect, Shaibu Adamu, thanks to clear CCTV footage. The video reportedly shows Adamu, who is also known locally as Yahya Mama, assaulting the victim before fleeing the government facility. The suspect didn't stay on the run for long as officers caught up with him at a hideout in the Bagadaza quarters late Friday night. During the initial interrogation, the teenager reportedly confessed to the crime, though police are still waiting for autopsy results to confirm the exact cause of death. State Police Commissioner Umar Chuzo has personally visited the scene and is promising a full-scale investigation to ensure justice is served. For now, the suspect remains in custody as the community reels from such a violent act occurring in a high-security government zone. And our Vice President Kashim Shettima arrived in Benue State this Sunday to represent President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at a major social event. The Vice President is in the state to attend the wedding reception of Samuel Aundokura, the son of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume. The celebration marks the holy matrimony between Samuel and his bride, Deborah Ishima, who is the daughter of prominent engineer Msula Atoga. The event has drawn a massive crowd of political heavyweights and well-wishers to the state capital to honor the families of the newlywed couple. Upon his arrival, the Vice President was received with full honors, observing a guard of honor at the airport. He was welcomed by the SGF himself, along with the Governor of Benue State, Hyacinth Zalia, and several other top government officials and traditional leaders. The reception is being described as one of the largest social gatherings in the state this year, serving as a rare moment of unity for various political leaders across different divides. We are told the Vice President will be conveying the President's personal congratulations and well wishes to the Akume and Atoga families. Well, let's quickly take you to Abia now, where the State Governor Alex Oti says that the 2027 governorship election in the state will be smoother than the 2023 polls. He made the remark during the 2025 Aro Day celebration in Arochukwu. Oti noted that while the election is still far off, many people have started killing themselves ahead of time. He stressed that his government remains focused on delivering good governance to the people of Abia. The governor expressed confidence that the 2027 election will be an easy win, pointing to tangible achievements since taking office. He compared this to 2023 when he relied mainly on promises during his campaign. Oti is currently the only sitting governor elected on the Labour Party platform. In 2023, he defeated his closest rival, Oke Ahiwe of the PDP, with 147,467 votes to 88,529 votes. And now to Edo State, where the police have arrested a man for allegedly killing his childhood friend during a housewarming party. The victim, 43-year-old Egosa Osaz, had returned, from overseas trip to celebrate Christmas with his family. The suspect, 43-year-old Amadi Williams, reportedly attacked Osaz at Oben community, inflicting a machete cut to the neck. The victim was rushed to a nearby hospital but died from his injuries. Police confirmed the arrest and said investigations are ongoing, with charges to be filed once completed. The case was first reported by the victim's elder brother, who alerted the authorities. Edo State Commissioner of Police Monday Agbonika noted that in 2025 alone, the police arrested over 800 suspects for various crimes, including murder, armed robbery, and kidnapping. Authorities urge the public to continue providing credible information to aid ongoing investigations. Now we go on another short break, and when we return, reports on the foreign scene, business, sports, entertainment. Stay with us. everyone. On the foreign scene now, U.S. Congressman Riley Moore says President Donald Trump is focused on ending the slaughter of Christians in Nigeria. The U.S. carried out airstrikes on 2 terrorist enclaves in Sokoto State in coordination with the Nigerian government. Moore says the strikes were a response to attacks on Christians over the past 2 Christmases. He described the military action as giving terrorists a taste of their own medicine. The lawmaker emphasized that the airstrikes were a collaborative effort with Nigeria, not a unilateral U.S. action. Moore said this step signals the U.S. administration's commitment to securing Nigeria and protecting vulnerable communities. Critics, he added, are appealing to Islamic radical bases rather than prioritizing security. The U.S. lawmaker called the strikes a necessary first step to ending repeated attacks on Christians in the country. And away from that report, voting has ended in Ivory Coast parliamentary elections with a noticeably low turnout reported in several areas, and the exercise followed a boycott call by major opposition groups. In parts of Abidjan, including Yopougon and Plateau, only a small number of registered voters showed up. Journalists at polling units described the scene as largely calm but quiet. The Electoral Commission says provisional participation stood at just over 32%. That figure is lower than what was recorded during the last legislative polls in 2021. Officials say minor scuffles were recorded during the process, but were quickly contained. Security personnel remained on duty as vote counting continued. And now a powerful winter storm has swept across Sweden, Norway and Finland, leaving at least 3 people dead in Sweden. Storm Johannes caused travel disruption, widespread power outages and damage across the Nordic countries. In Sweden, 1 man in his 50s and another in his 60s died after being struck by falling trees while working outdoors. A 3rd man also died in an accident at the Konsberget ski resort. The storm left tens of thousands of homes without electricity, with over 40,000 affected in Sweden alone. Rail, road and flight services were heavily disrupted, and emergency services responded to hundreds of incidents. In Finland, the storm locally called Hans grounded flights at Kittilä airport when strong winds pushed planes off course. Authorities continue to restore power and clear roads, urging residents to exercise caution as recovery efforts continue. But still on the foreign scene, the first phase of Myanmar's national election has concluded amid widespread criticism and ongoing civil war. Observers have described the vote as a sham, with major parties dissolved, leaders jailed, and half the country unable to participate. Explosions and airstrikes were reported in multiple regions, including Mandalay and Mewadi, leaving civilians injured and at least 1 child dead. Voting took place under heavy security, with the military junta insisting the process is free and fair. The junta's military-backed parties contesting nationwide, while 40 parties, including Aung San Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy, remain banned. International observers and the UN have condemned the polls, saying they cannot be considered legitimate. The election will continue in 3 phases across 265 of Myanmar's 330 townships, with results expected at the end of January. Many civilians remain displaced or under attack, making turnout and logistical planning a major challenge for authorities. And in business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has raised a staggering 15.3 trillion naira through treasury bills this year to help the federal government cover its budget shortfall. This marks a 15% jump from the amount raised last year, as the government looks for ways to keep development projects and public services running. Even though the amount offered for sale increased by over 60%, it looks like investors were a bit more cautious this time around. Total subscriptions actually dipped compared to 2024, likely because the yields or interest rates weren't quite high enough to tempt everyone in a changing market. The CBN isn't just raising cash, It's also tightening its grip on how these deals happen. A new electronic interface was recently launched to handle all treasury bill auctions, aiming to give the Apex Bank total control over the fixed income market and make the process more transparent. While these T-bills are a standard way for governments to borrow short-term, the sheer scale of the borrowing highlights the pressure on our national finances. We will be watching to see if this increased debt load impacts inflation or the value of the naira as we head into the new year. Now, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority says Dangote Refinery's petrol supply fell below projections in November. The plant produced 23.5 million liters daily, far below the planned 35 million liters. Despite this shortfall, Nigeria's overall petrol supply rose to 71 million liters per day in November. This was driven by imports and efforts to boost stock levels ahead of end-of-year demand. Local refineries contributed just 19.5 million liters, while 52.1 million liters were imported. Meanwhile, domestic consumption dipped to an average of 52.9 million liters per day. Other refineries, including Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna, remain largely shut down for maintenance. Modular refineries like Walter Smith and Edo continue production at varying capacities to support national supply. Well, in sports news, the Nigeria Football Federation says FIFA has not yet ruled on its petition against DR Congo. The complaint concerns allegedly ineligible players fielded during the World Cup playoffs. Several DR Congo players hold dual nationality, which the country does not officially recognize past the age of 21. The NFF says the matter was formally submitted to FIFA and any response will go directly to the federation. DR Congo beat the Super Eagles 4-3 on penalties to advance to the Inter-Confederation playoffs. They will face the winner of the Jamaica versus New Caledonia match for a final World Cup ticket. NFF General Secretary Mohamed Sanusi dismissed online claims that FIFA had rejected Nigeria's case. He reassured fans that no official decision has been received as of now. Still sports news, Mozambique ended a 39-year wait for their first Africa Cup of Nations victory by beating Gabon 3-2 in Group F. The thrilling match took place on Sunday in Agadir, Morocco. Goals from Faisal Bengal, Jenny Katamo, and Diogo Kalila secured the win for the Mambas. Gabon fought back twice through Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Alex Masunda, but fell short. Mozambique, ranked 24 places below Gabon in the world rankings, showed courage and composure. They led 2-1 at halftime and extended their advantage early in the second half. The win gives Mozambique 3 points alongside defending champions Ivory Coast and Cameroon, who play later. Fans celebrated as the team finally broke their long African Cup drought. Well, in entertainment news, it is on a sad note that the family of Nollywood actress and producer Allwell Ademola has confirmed her death and clarified her age. In a statement released on Sunday, the family said she died on Saturday, December 27, 2025. They described her as a sister, mother, and aunt, saying the family is submitting fully to the will of God. The statement added that she was a proud daughter of Ogun State and a descendant of Egbaland. The family said Allwell Ademola was deeply committed to the creative arts, distinguishing herself as an actor, singer, and filmmaker. They noted that her work touched many lives through her talent and dedication to the industry. Meanwhile, tributes continue to pour in from colleagues and fans across the film industry. The family thanked well-wishers for their prayers and support, adding that burial arrangements will be announced later. Well, Nollywood in 2025 saw female filmmakers taking the lead and redefining the industry. From cinema hits to viral streaming releases, these women told compelling stories that explored love, ambition, identity, and class. Funke Akindele dominated the box office with hits like Everybody Loves Jennifer, becoming the first filmmaker to have 2 1 billion naira films in a single year. She also released a Prime Video exclusive, Finding Me, and a record-breaking cinema drama, Behind the Scenes. Kemi Adetiba impressed with Netflix's crime thriller series, To Kill a Monkey, while Omoni Obole reached audiences worldwide with Love in Every Word, which amassed over 50 million views online. Tony Abraham and Biodu Stephen also delivered major releases, including historical and family dramas that performed strongly in the box office. In a collaborative highlight, Bukumi Ilori, Bisola Ayola, as well as others, brought up a comedy, Ginger, grossing over 509 million naira, I should say. The year proves that women are central to Nollywood's creative and commercial heartbeat, setting the stage for even bolder projects in 2026. Well, that wraps it up for us on News Hour. Thank you so much for watching. I am Vivian Oguche.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.